All I have to say is listen to this crunch. Okay, so let's start with the pork belly. So what I'm doing here is I'm just pouring some white vinegar, and then I'm going to lightly brush the skin, and that will help keep it dry. Now with the pork belly, we're going to cut it into diagonal slices. Now you want to cut through it about 90% of the way, but you don't want to break to the skin. Yeah, and you're just going to crisscross it just like that. Awesome, and there you have it. Now we get some salt, some garlic powder, and some Chinese 5-spice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to season the bottom of the pork belly with that mixture. Now just pour it on top and then rub it in with your hands. Don't be shy. Okay, so we flip it over, and then we're just going to get a paper towel and we're going to pat the skin dry. We want to get it as dry as possible, so it'll get nice and crispy in the oven. So get some aluminium foil and we're just going to wrap it around the pork belly and leave the skin visible. So we're going to actually cook the pork belly over 3 times. First is at 230 degrees for 30 minutes. Second is 190 for 50 minutes. And finally, we're going to turn up the heat back up to 230 degrees for an extra 10 minutes to get it nice and crispy. Now we get a food processor and put in about 12 cloves of garlic. You really can't have too much garlic. Just mash that up together. Just mix that together in the processor. Cool. Now in a pot, put in some vegetable oil and then put in the minced garlic. And we're actually going to start this from cold, and this will stop the garlic from burning too quickly. Now once the oil starts to get hot, it will start to cook the garlic. Stir occasionally and keep an eye on it because it will actually cook quite quickly and we don't want it to burn. And once it gets brown like this, take it off the heat because it will continue to cook even off the heat. Then we'll strain it and then put it into a bowl. Now we get our rice. I'm using 2 cups. And we're just gonna rinse your rice. So just rinse it under cold water, give it a stir with your hands, and then drain it. Do it about 2 or 3 times until the water becomes clear. Apologies for the messy sink. Okay, so once you cooked your rice, give it a stir, and then you're gonna add in the dry garlic. And once you add in the garlic, just stir it into the rice. And that's pretty much it. There's your garlic rice. And that smells amazing. Now put the lid on. We'll save it for later. Now look at that pork belly. You hear that? Look how crispy that is. Now we're just going to chop up the pork belly into bite-sized pieces. Ideally you have a butcher cleaver to do this, but I don't have one. Awesome. Look at that. Alright, so for the Filipino dipping sauce, get some garlic, a bird's eye chili and some onion, and mix that into the food processor. So we're going to get some white vinegar, mix in some soy sauce, some brown sugar, and then the onion, chili and garlic. And then we're going to give that a nice stir. Add in some lemon juice, some salt, and there you have it, your Filipino dipping sauce. Now for the plating, we just put in a cup of our garlic rice and then layer on the roast pork. And basically you just serve this with a small bowl of the Filipino dipping sauce and you're good to go. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you in the next video.